Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called The Aftermath. Set in 1946, this engrossing drama follows Rachel Morgan, a British woman whose colonel husband is charged with rebuilding war ravaged Hamburg. When she joins him there during the bitter winter months, she learns they will be sharing their home with a German widower and his troubled daughter. Before long, the unusual arrangement intensifies political divides and stirs deep personal wounds. In this increasingly charged environment, enmity and grief give way to unexpected passion and betrayal. This is a 2019 film. It is rated R. It runs about 2 hours, and it stars the people on the front: Keira Knightley, Alexander Skarsgård, and Jason Clarke. The Aftermath. Well, I like all these actors, but I can't say I've heard of this movie. When I was doing my research at the beginning of the month, it came up on my list. It said it was available, so I got it. I watched it uh, yesterday, and I just kind of have mixed emotions on it. The actors are very good, and the movie is well done, but there's just some things about it. I would say with the acting, I don't know how many of you have seen different movies from Keira Knightley other than Pirates of the Caribbean, but she really turns it on when she has a chance. She's done some older time movies like this. I guess people think she fits the bill for an older type of lady and has the look of it and formal, wear and everything. And so I like her in these roles if she thinks that she enjoys doing them, because we get to see the real Keira Knightley. She gets to excel. She gets to do her best and turn on the acting and turn on the emotion. And if she wants to be naked, she can be naked, and she could never do anything like that with Pirates of the Caribbean. So I really think Pirates of the Caribbean is her kind of selling out nowadays, and I don't know if I can really watch those movies the same way, because she really turns it on with movies like this. So if you are a fan of Keira Knightley, you need to see this, and if you've never heard of some of her other movies, you need to see those. That's the first thing. Jason Clarke is kind of one of those actors that I feel sorry for. He's done some stupid movies. He's done some bad things. He's one of those guys that if you get him into a movie like this, he fits the bill. He gets to be himself. He gets to turn on the emotion, and I just think this really helped him. Skarsgård, he's okay. He kind of plays his character, but for people like Keira and Jason, I just really am happy that they were able to be in a movie like this, because they can turn it on, they can excel, and they can be happy doing what they're doing, which is acting. And that's what we're supposed to see in movies, not some fake version of them where they make lots of money, but something where they're really actually happy doing what they're doing. So, this is not an entertainment movie if you haven't got that point yet. But it's very serious, it's very dramatic. It's about the Nazis, it's one of those movies. But this is about England and their heads of, the military kind of occupying Germany. So this is kind of on the wind down of the Nazis. I mean, like, they have lines in this movie. Those characters, they have lines like, we will never die, we will never be forgotten. Strong stuff. So everybody in this movie, I think, really felt the seriousness of this film and how effective it could be if you just kind of sit down and watch this. It's very serious, it's very effective, it's very into itself, and I appreciate movies that try and do that. So, that's me selling the movie. The bad parts of this, I would say, is Skarsgård and his whole involvement in this film. It's kind of weird that people believe him that he's not really a Nazi and he doesn't support them and he hasn't been involved with them, but they're still ruining his life. So then this movie exists so that they can go ruin this one guy's life. And, he has some involvement with certain things throughout the movie, but he never gets punished or put in jail or killed or nothing. And then this movie, with its twist, can occur, and everything with him and his daughter just feels like it's pushed to happen because common sense will not carry out in this movie. That certain things need to happen so that we can get to the second half of this movie where stuff just goes wild. And so when his character starts turning this movie on its head, it just feels like, okay, what are we doing? We came from, worrying about Nazis, worrying about Jason and Kira's, kind of situation and if they're comfortable around them or not, if they're in high class or, what the conversation is with this possible Nazi, just we get from all that cool material and it just turns into Love Island or The Bachelorette or something. It really turns into kind of a throwaway towards the end. And what happens at the end is there's a decision to be made, and it's made, and Jason Clarke gets a scene where he gets to shine, and everybody walks away from Jason Clarke. You think that's the end, right? Well, no. Then Keira Knightley's character has to change her mind and goes back to Jason Clarke. And I'm like, what? So it was just kind of weird and everything. I don't really understand why they couldn't have some guts about them towards the end because I really wanted them to. The whole movie was painting towards this one thing, and then they kind of, throw a loop on you, but it's like they're throwing a loop on themselves. So it's like, well, why can't you have any guts to carry out what you are suggesting is going to be the ending? Why do you have to just change it all of a sudden at the end? Because one line was said, literally. That's what changes the outcome of this movie is one line. So I just don't understand this. I don't know if it was a true story. It's really a focused point of view on one situation, one family, one house at a certain time in history. It's not really about anything broad, like a war or maybe situations that led up to this. It's just these people's story in this little circle right here, and why they ended the movie the way they did, I have no idea, and why it turned into this like fantasy thing, I don't understand. So I'm gonna give The Aftermath a B, and I do suggest watching it because it is amazing, really, for the first half. And if you like where it goes, you might see differently than me. And so I think some people might really fall in love with this movie. I kind of enjoyed it, and I hope I remember it because it really is a decent watch. And I think some people could really get into it. So a B for The Aftermath. Thanks a lot, guys. My name is Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give something to watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.